In today's video, I'm going to be buying all the cheapest items that I can to create the cheapest saltwater tank possible. I'm going to find out if going the cheap route can look good or if it's a total disaster, and if it can be a suitable home for a fish. Saltwater tanks can absolutely be expensive, with all kinds of different colorful fish and corals. But with all of that comes expensive equipment to keep everything healthy and to help the color really pop inside of the tank. The lights for the coral get up into the thousands of dollars, so it can look overwhelming from an outsider's perspective and look way too expensive. But I believe not every tank has to cost thousands of dollars to look good. Which brings us to PetSmart, the best place I know for cheap equipment. Starting with the tank itself. The cheapest option is going to be the 2.5 gallon. However, no saltwater fish can really live inside of a 2.5 gallon. So I'm going to have to go with the next cheapest option, which is the 5 gallon. It's only $1 more. Next, I went to grab the cheapest heater available, and since the tank is 5 gallons, any heater would do. I also went to go grab the cheapest light. I went to get a filter, but found they were sold out of the one I needed, so I'm going to just go to another fish store for that. Same thing with the substrate. I found some for $6 online, but this store didn't have it. The rock they had was too pricey for me to call it the cheapest, so I'll get some from somewhere else. Now to head to the next PetSmart. This store thankfully did have the sand in stock, but no filter. So I had to head to another store. This time I stopped at Petco. Now Petco does have some cheap stuff too. The problem that I have with Petco is every time I look online for stuff from them, it's always discounted or just cheaper. But when I go to the store, they have everything priced higher, so I constantly have to double check myself to make sure I have the price right. Anyways, I found the filter, and no, I didn't pay $19.99 for it. I got it for the online price. Not a huge difference, but it's still annoying. Alright, enough about Petco now. It's time to get everything inside. And here it all is so far, totaling out to $73. It's not too bad. Now I'm going to get the tank all set up. Starting with the sand, I poured it in and evened it out a little bit. Then I installed the heater. I filled up the tank with water. Oh, I forgot the price for the salt water, which is $7, bringing the total spent to $80. Now I'm going to get the filter set up and place it onto the back of the tank. I'm also going to take some seeded media from my clownfish tank to get the tank cycled. So I added it into the new filter and topped it off with water. This thing was really pumping the water, and the spot that I originally put it wasn't going to work. So I moved it over to the side of the tank instead. It was pretty loud as well. Now I'm going to add the light to the back of the tank. The sand also came with a packet that helps clear up the water, so I added that in too. This is what the tank is looking like so far. Not bad, this filter is just a little loud. I still need to buy rock, so I headed to my local fish store. They have rock for $4.99 a pound, and I don't need too much since the tank is 5 gallons, but the problem I'm going to have is finding some small enough to fit inside the tank. So after going through the rocks, I found some and came up with this little cave. This cost me $18, pushing the total to $98. So this is the tank now. I decided to add a little bit more sand for my other tank because the type of fish I'm getting for this tank will need more sand. I also put a lid on to help with water evaporation and for the specific fish that I'm getting. So, a saltwater tank for under $100 really is not that bad. I think it looks just fine, especially for the total money spent. Now it's time to head back to the fish store to pick out a fish. Initially, I wanted to get a clown goby as he would be perfect for this tank, but they didn't have one anymore, and I had to decide on something else. I knew I was going to get a goby, but I had to find the right one. And then I found this little goby. He's a watchman, which do grow up to 4 inches, so he can't live in this tank forever, but at this size, he's perfect. And I will definitely do an upgrade for him in the future. So here he is in his bag. I'm going to get him acclimated so I can get him inside the tank. Once I put him in, he immediately went to hide. I tried finding where he went so I could record him, but he is extremely small and very hard to find. So I'll let him settle in and I'll come back later. When I came back initially, I still didn't see him. But when I went to look around, I found him under the rock. He's very hard to see under there, but at least I found him. It may take some time before he warms up to the new tank and comes out. I came back to check on him before I went to bed, and he was actually out sitting in the sand. These fish are known for sifting the sand with their mouths. They scoop up a bunch of sand and sift through it to find food. They also usually create a burrow and sit in front of it all day. I'm not sure where he will create his, but I hope it's somewhere I'll be able to see. I dropped him in some food and he did decide to eat, before going back up under the rock. He did come out a couple more times for food, but now it's time to turn out the light. Which brings me to an update on my breeding pair of clownfish. They will be getting their own dedicated video still. I'm not going to go over everything that's happening with them right now, but I do have some good news and some bad news. I'll get the bad news out of the way first. These clownfish have gone on strike. They stopped laying eggs. I'm not sure why, but it's been 3 weeks since the last batch of eggs, and I've seen nothing. So I'm stuck here waiting, which brings me to the good news. I believe I have mastered culturing these rotifers. I have 2 cultures now going strong, so I'm ready when they start laying again. I also have some extra news that I'm going to share. The peppermint shrimp has been in a different location for a while now. I'll explain more about why in the next clownfish video. The new location will be kept a secret for now also. A video will be coming out about that soon as well, so subscribe if you don't want to miss those.
Hello there.
Now the reason I'm showing this is because the shrimp is going to be moving in with the new goby for the time being. So I caught him to get him acclimated to his new home. Now that he is acclimated, it's time to put him in, and when I did, he started moving all around the heater, and then dropped down to the sand bed, and he eventually made it under the rock, in the last spot I saw the goby. I watched to see if they would interact, but he eventually disappeared under the rock. So the tank still looks empty with both of them hiding. Hopefully they will get used to it and come out more. That night when I came back to feed them, the goby came out to eat like usual, but I couldn't find where the shrimp was hiding. He didn't seem to be under the rock with the goby. Every day, the goby seems to be getting more and more comfortable with coming out, which is great. I have seen the shrimp as well every day in different hard to see spots, so he's doing fine too. I think the tank turned out great and definitely better than expected.